Hi everyone, how are you all doing? Welcome to another Tinfoil Tuesday. I hope you're all having a good one. Welcome, welcome. Yes, today we finally have the return of our boy, Peter. Very exciting. So, I even put on makeup for it. That's how excited I am. Let's see, what did I miss in chat, if anything? Dun, 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 dun. Just seeing if I missed anything. Radiology said, "Hi Hannah, just come over from a cult comic stream while there have a shiny new Goblin VTuber avatar." Oh really? That's cool. I haven't seen it yet. I will have to take a look. Let's take a look. Let's take a sneaky peek. Let's take a sneaky peek. Don't tell them. Don't tell them. Oh. Very cool. I thought they had a little, like, thing like that before. Is it just a new one? I guess, did we see the face before? Either way, very cute. Will stream babies today be named Peter? That'd be kind of funny. I like that. Creepy Doll in the Wall says, "Yay, Hannah here to keep me company while I work on a custom order. Where puppy dragon, baby? What did I get myself into?" That's kind of cool. Hey, Sume, how you doing? Would I ever do VTuber stuff at some point? I thought about it as an April Fool's Day thing, because I do have, like, the face rig program or whatever it is. I have a program that I can use to do that. So for, like, an April Fool's, I wanted to do, like, a furry avatar, like, VTuber, because I thought it'd be funny, but I never ended up doing it. Reachology says, they just had the ears, poking above the art tablet before. Yeah, that's what it was. Sorry, I have trouble visualizing stuff. Hannah, do I think CC believes in God? CC does. He has expressed a belief in God before. I'm pretty sure Christian. Anyway, let's get into it. We'll start with some short stuff. We'll take some time to allow people to come in. I'm sure people will want to see Peter, so we'll wait until we get at least 200 viewers probably before we do Peter. We'll do some other stuff in the meantime. That's not an arbitrary number, by the way. That's like based upon average high viewership. Usually we get that at some point during the stream. So. I'm not just trying to bait ya. What do I want to do first? I have so many. Did you guys see that Mike Lindell is going to try and run for the head of RNC? Creepy Doll in the Wall, thanks for gifting a sub.
I want to tell you this. I will be calling every single one myself. I've done my due diligence. I prayed about it. I'm all in. And yes, everybody, I will make the time to do it. I will be the best RNC chairperson this ever had in history, because you need to fix it. It's broken. It's like, think of it as a business, Brandon. It needs some very big repair. You can't have all these donors are going to quit donating if you don't get a good result. And right now, our country...
I imagine everyone in my chat knows, but if you don't know, the RNC is the Republican National Committee. It's like, you know, it's the apparatus of the Republican Party of the United States.
Just like...
I don't know why I said of the United States as if there's like a Republican Party not of the United States.
Like Governor Kristi Noem said on a show just a couple of days ago, we're going to lose our country. And
I think she hinted, I was reading a press report, she was hinting at we need new leadership.
BlockFi is declaring bankruptcy? No fucking way. Is Bitcoin gonna drop again? That would be awesome. because it's been sticking around 1600, and I want it to crash so hard. If you have money in Bitcoin, get it out now. You still have time.
Yeah,
H-Baird says, did you hear there's a county in Arizona that's refusing to certify the election? If they don't by the required time, it'll flip a House seat from R to D? I'm imagining that there's gonna be, like, an order of, like, mandamus, or whatever the fuck that's called. What is that called? When the court basically sends a government official in order to do their fucking job? Mandamus? I always remember because it sounds like Damon-ritis, which is the MacGuffin from the Scooby-Doo movie. Anyway.
Absolutely. And
welcome, Zytam. Glad you can make it.
But I don't believe she can, because she's a governor. You know, she can't duplicate herself. And everyone's saying, well, Mike, are you going to have enough time? Let me tell you, everybody, I'm CEO of a
Writ of mandamus, Latin for we command, you goddamn lawyers and your Latin. This is America. Last time I checked, I didn't want no Latins making my laws. I should have stayed in school.
A lot of companies, but My Pillow being the biggest of 2,000 employees. I have such a great group of people. It's and I don't want to say it's self-run, but I will get calls when there's a deviation. And we will fix it. And so it doesn't, that time is very minimal. And sure, we have big catastrophes that happen when Walmart drops us, and where you have to take a day and go make some good decisions based on a new foundation or a new footprint you're in, a new footprint. That's where the RNC, they don't react to the footprint this country's in. They think the same input's going to give you the same output. Well, I'll tell you, Brandon, as you know, since November 4th of 20, and even before that, everybody, let's say November 4th of 2020, I have devoted, if I had to use an average day, 12 hours, and to help trying to save this country, and to help do whatever I can to expose what I know and what I've seen, that our election is broken, our elections are broken. And so yeah, you take that and you, that time, because right now I've kind of gotten to a spot where, you know what,
he's so well-spoken. I'm sure he'll do great. Genuinely, Mike Lindell, are you back on cocaine? At this moment, it doesn't seem like he's on cocaine, but if he's saying he's putting in 12-hour days, like, of work, and that's not including his extracurricular activities, like, is he on cocaine? I don't know. It just doesn't seem healthy.
We have over 50 lawsuits in the United States going on right.
Yeah, I've wanted to read Lindsay Ellis's novel. I might get the audiobook. I have an Audible credit for this month that I haven't used, so maybe I'll use it for that this month. Radiology says, people ask, Mike, do you have the time? And I tell them, not only do I have the time because I get people to do my job for me, I also have the coke to dedicate myself 26 hours a day. Procagom with 100 bits says, hey, some of us like working 12-hour days, says the workaholic who needs a life. Please, find some more time for yourself. You're gonna burn yourself out. That's not good. Get sleep and relaxation. Your body needs it.
Now, not all directly with me, but with knowing about them all, that's just about our election processes and stuff, and other lawsuits that are going to go work their way up to the Supreme Court, and some are already there. And then you have Arizona going on, and I've had experts show things down in Brazil, what's going on, monitoring that. But it's kind of come.
Does he think the RNC chairman has power over Brazil?
To the thing where now you're letting all the great hard work just kind of, let's let that manifest out. So, and I thought, after I got approached by these guys for the RNC, I thought, you know what has been the biggest blockers of all this stuff for the last 2 years for our elections? It's been the politicians, the Brad Raffenspergers, the Robin Vosses, and what do they have in common? Doug Ducey's, Republicans. I want to
Overthought with 50 bits and a link.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Google engineers confirmed that Skynet has escaped the lab, and now U.S. government politicians are looking like robots. New footage of Nancy Pelosi is scaring the internet.
Believe sci-fi tech actually exists on the bingo card.
She doesn't look human. She doesn't pass the Turing test, and she's not the only one.
It's not even what the Turing test means. Like, that's not...
We've got Robot Biden, and we've got Zuckerbot, When I Was Human. And according to intelligence reports, the assimilation has expanded into the millions of people assimilated by nanotechnology, nanites, nanotech, not only in the vaccines, but in the water supply.
Population control is a motive on the bingo card?
In the food supply, everybody's seen the magnetic meat.
Boxy is here to protect us. I don't back any of the things he's saying. This is a stream where we, for education purposes, try and protect people against conspiracy claims. This is a conspiracy claim, as in, not true. Don't believe him.
Just about everybody's been exposed. Why some of us are still human is another question, but the assimilation has definitely...
Dehumanizing your political and social enemies. Pretty big for fascists and conspiracy theorists.
...begun, and the extermination is underway under the fog of COVID. Heart attacks, strokes, cancers are skyrocketing. They're increasing the radiation.
They're not. You're fine. You're fine.
From the cell towers, like a boiling frog scenario. And essentially...
5G on the bingo card.
They're going to cook humanity right off.
5G and other forms of radiation used for cell phone and other wireless communication are non-ionizing. They're fine. They don't affect you in any way.
The surface of the earth, and we've got some disturbing footage of people being executed by cell phone, cell tower, mystery tech. It's happening. And it's only...
People just have heart attacks sometimes. It's sad, but it's true. It's not a conspiracy. Tea with Goblins says, Morning Hannah, hello chat. Just heard that the leader of the Oath Keepers has been convicted for his role in January 6th. Hey, fuck yeah. Wonder what the sentencing will be. Hopefully more than many of the other people on January 6th. Gnome Pickles with 100 bits kicks off a hype train. Thank you very much. Remember, since it's Tinfoil Tuesday, if we get to level 5, we'll do all the tinfoil clothing and stuff.
Only going to get worse. That's why we continue to recommend that people invest in shielding and learn about...
I feel like this entire channel, every single video talks about, like, investing in shielding. I gotta assume that, like, whoever is the biggest proprietor of selling, like, all this, like, whatever you would call it, like, magnetic radiation shielding bullshit, they're probably putting these videos out almost like an advertisement, but like a hardcore psyop advertisement where they're trying to scare conspiracy theorists into buying their bullshit debunked products. It's just a guess. It's just very consistent. Radiology with 100 bits, thank you. 31% to level 1.
EMF Faraday shielding strategies. Become an electrical engineer now while you still can. Protect yourselves. The future of warfare is energy.
A foil magnate. Gnome Pickles says, invest in shielding. You must have all the shielding. Now in a bundle for $4.99.99 a gram.
Weapons. No bullets, no sound, just heart attack, stroke. Again, if you're just joining us, new footage of the cybernetic takeover of the U.S. government has emerged. Nancy Pelosi, Robot Biden, Zuckerberg when he was human. Of course, we've got celebrities glitching all over, clones everywhere. Nothing but CGI.
Clones on the bingo card!
On the television.
We can go over the bingo card after this video.
But nothing past.
Metal Turtle 571 with 499 bits says, hook me up.
Passes the Turing test. It's all about the extermination. All you have to do is look up and see the chemtrails. They're spraying you like
Chemtrails on the bingo card. Wow, this has videos just ruining the bingo economy.
bugs, poisoning the food, the air, the water, surrounding you with death towers. It's a serious situation. It's like an alien invasion.
Aliens on the bingo
For the most part,
card.
people should be acting accordingly instead of just watching the news and responding to the Skynet bread and circus. Humanity is
Retro Pastiche says, Happy January 6th Consequences Day, everyone.
at risk. These cell towers are essentially Tesla howitzers blasting people in their homes, blasting people while they sleep. You're totally exposed and naked to this technology, and most people are not prepared to survive. Obviously, the video guy is on vacation.
Moira Soma, thanks for 19 months at Tier 2, getting us over level 1 of the hype train, so that at least gets us the horns.
But this is a very serious threat. We repeat this warning as often as we can so that people can prepare. But right now, essentially people are surrounded by a death grid of smart technology. Not only the cell towers, but the phones, the cars, the routers, the street lights. They've all been weaponized.
Has anyone else seen Better Call Saul? Overthought, thanks for gifting a sub.
And
In Better Call Saul, at least... In Better Call Saul, there's a character named Chuck. I was trying to think how to do this and not do any show spoilers. Chuck is a character in Better Call Saul. He is a person who believes that he is affected by EMF radiation. This is actually a real thing in real life, and by that I mean it is not a real illness, but it is a mental delusion that people have. There are some people who have a delusion that believe that things like cell phone signals and Wi-Fi signals and general electricity harm them physically. Sorry about the sirens. I assume you guys can hear that. But whenever this gets tested, it's entirely based on their perception of there being EMF radiation present and nothing to do with actual presence. So if you put like a box in there that they think is electronic, they will feel as though they are being harmed. And if you hide something electronic, they don't feel it unless they know it's there. So it's a psychosomatic thing. Unfortunately, people like this, who I assume once again has some stake in selling people EMF radiation quote-unquote solutions, he's trying to just freak them out more and get them to buy his crap, is my guess. J.I. Lost says, this guy has emailed me and said he regularly watches your streams, and this video was an attempt to fill out as much of the bingo card as possible. Bumble Homestead, thanks for 200 bits. Retro Pastiche, thanks for gifting a sub. And Rachiology with 50 bits says, this guy reuses the same clips and talking points so often that I'm beginning to suspect that his and his videos are actually AI generated as part of some elaborate art project. Piper Draws in Stuff with 9 months says, my first sub baby. I'm such a proud parent. Thanks for the awesome content, Hannah. Thanks for watching it. This sub baby's name is going to be Peter Edible Eater. All the sub babies today are going to be named after Peter.
They're slowly increasing
You did not miss Peter. We'll be doing Peter probably after this video.
the dose. And for people that wake up to what's going on, they get
Because we did get over 200 viewers.
targeting.
So.
And so, just by hearing this message, you're now even in more danger than ever.
Hydrate.
And so we definitely recommend that you go get shielding supplies for military-grade EMF weapons coming from Skynet. It's better to prepare than not to prepare.
And so stylish. God, I need to get the thing on the left for Tinfoil Tuesday. It's like a poncho.
We're talking about shielding
Which you can make me wear my tinfoil outfit by getting to level 5. Shilling Hype Train. Did I do it? Did I do it correctly?
strategies, new space-age materials, not only for EMF weapons, but scalar weapons, particle beam weapons. We've been talking about polyethylene, high-density polyethylene, being an effective shielding material. And we've also been talking about other strategies in our previous videos. Be sure to check those out on the BitChute channel, alien.wars, because it's like an alien invasion out there.
Stone
Death
Corbell,
Rain is
thanks for gifting a sub.
coming in from satellites, airplanes, and the activity is steadily increasing. Again, all of you are at risk. And the evidence is overwhelming. This is not some kind of fantasy. This is not some kind of fear porn. Do I sound excited? Not really. We've been dealing with this for the last 2 years. We're basically in a EMF bunker right now. Feels like Crystal Peak as we organize the human resistance. It's happening.
Drop the mic. Thanks for 12 months. Happy anniversary. Thanks, Baha. I love you. Guys, tomorrow is Baha's birthday. It's Baha's birthday tomorrow. Wish Baha happy birthday. She's in chat. My wife's birthday. Chiba Hawk says, Woot, caught it live with a gif. Glad you're here live for the Peter thing. Skifazoa with 100 bits says, happy early birthday, Baha. Skifazoa, whose name I remembered how to pronounce. Nails the Tabaxi says, I can't think of anything funny right now. I'm kind of frazzled, but have some bits and happy birthday, Baha. 86% to level 3. Where were we?
Don't be surprised. And certainly...
Bumble Homestead says, contribution to Baha Birthday Fund. Fenekagami says, happy birthday, Baha.
I don't ignore...
Level 3 complete.
...this.
Or about to be complete.
Threat, because everything that you're seeing on the television, from the pandemic to the stolen elections, is related to this Skynet Westworld hostile takeover. And they don't know mercy. They don't know pity.
Procagum, thanks for gifting 5 tier 1 subs. Astral Storm, thanks for gifting us another sub. Nice.
This isn't about making friends or anything like that. These machines want to exterminate and assimilate humanity. You are all targets. You were targets before you watched this broadcast. And you'll still be targets after this broadcast. And so you need to prepare. We're also looking at EMF countermeasures. And of course, you know, people have been recommending
30% to level 5.
Antennas, parabolic, coil gun style, hooked up to an amplifier and a tuner at 50 or 60 hertz to short circuit this weaponized technology.
Drop the mic. Thanks for gifting 5 tier 1 subs. Who's your friend? Thanks for gifting 10 tier 1 subs. Wow, everyone being very generous today. Thank you.
Cannot give you training in that regard, but it's basically like a home speaker system hooked up to an antenna. Research the future of electronic warfare, because these weapon systems are in your neighborhoods. These weapon systems have been set up like
Clockwork Fan, thanks for gifting 2 tier 1 subs.
And they're meant to kill you. If you're listening to this, you are the resistance.
Seriously, do they have like a link in there, like follow us on Telegram for the latest updates? I'm guessing if you go to their like Telegram, they probably excuse me. That's disgusting. I'm sorry. Forrest Espion, thanks for gifting a sub. And with 100 bits says, happy birthday, Baha. My birthday was yesterday. Cool, Baha and me are almost birthday twins. We are both Sagittarius. Hannah, what is your zodiac? I think Pisces. Sidosaurus says, trying to type on my tablet is an exercise in futility, apparently. I suck at it. Not used to it yet. Thanks for the bits. 76% to level 7. We will go over the bingo card. I just gotta get my tinfoil stuff on. Ugh. Sorry about the disgusting hacky cough. Okay, There's that. Tinfoil crown. Da 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 da. And the arm things. Okay. Sorry, I don't know why my throat's so scratchy today. We need more tinfoil to reflect the uncapped hype trains. That's true. Next time I get paid, I'll go on Amazon and try and find some, like, cheap tinfoil shit that we can add to the outfit to, like, you know, be cute or funny or whatever. This is part 1 of Peter's documentary, yes. This is Cannabis versus COVID Shot, the battle to save billions of lives, part 1. It's a little wordy. This is on Rumble. 76. We're gonna do bingo sheets. I didn't forget. I'm just putting these on first. Okay. I need to get some kind of glasses. I think foil glasses would be good. Okay, let's see. %78 to level 7. Chemtrails. Believe sci-fi tech actually exists. We're gonna have CBD cure is a cure on Peter's thing, so I'm just gonna put it there now. Aliens. Thank you for the level, I think it was 6 hype train, everyone. Really great. Thank you. Predictive programming because of all the things they mentioned in terms of movies and stuff. Let's check out page 2. $5G, of course. The line between Shudwatch and Tinfoil Tuesday thins. Population control is a motive. Daddy Sume says, the return of Peter and the return of Daddy. This is an auspicious night. Nope, not saying that. Timeout. Let's see. Why don't I have the thing? I'm not logged in on that screen. One sec. Where was I? I don't think Lindell said anything about, like, a coup or legal coup, did he? We did have aliens. Okay, I think that's it. Oh, we did have clones, didn't we? We did have clones. 76. Sorry. Okay. Word salad and forced sterilization. You're actually right. I'm sorry, I missed a lot. Word salad, forced sterilization. Does anyone remember what forced sterilization is on the thing? I'm really good at running a stream, by the way. I always remember where all my stuff is. Oh, we already had that. I didn't forget that. And clones. Alright. Sheba Hawk said, sweet Shanghai Jeebus. I can't wait for this. And now my mascara. Radiology says, I'm transforming the sofa into chase lounge mode and pouring myself a decadent beverage for this bit. Exciting. Okay. So Peter's returned. This is part 1 of his quote-unquote documentary called Cannabis versus COVID Shot, The Battle to Save Billions of Lives. Now, I want to bring your attention to Boxy, up in the corner. Peter's going to make a lot of claims here. I do not endorse any of these claims. You're watching this for educational purposes so you can see conspiracy and anti-vax talking points, and I will debunk them. Nothing Peter says is real or true. Okay? We're covered. Cool. Let's check it out. Part of this might look familiar because he did release a short version with the intro to this. So the first part will probably look familiar to some of you.
To set up the goals for the next 5 years. And one of them was by 2023, we will reduce the number of people in the world by 50%. I think today, this dream is becoming reality.
Again, when Bill Gates and the World Economic Forum says this, they are not talking about killing anyone. Quite the opposite, actually. They're talking about the fact that we know by observing trends when a country goes from pre-industrial to industrial, and you're no longer subsistence farming all the time, or living in really, really bad conditions, you have fewer children. So, as infant mortality rates go down, and people no longer have to work hard labor jobs constantly, in terms of, like, farming and stuff, being the major, like, thing people do, you can have fewer kids. So birth rates go down, reducing the overall population, but no one is dying in this case. In fact, more people are living because, again, infant mortality goes down. More kids survive to adulthood. I hate Twitch times 2 with 100-bit says, are you going to cover Peter's vaccine doc? This is literally, this is it. We're watching it right now. We're doing the thing! You gave me $1 to ask that. Alright.
They want more souls. I want less on the planet.
The world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%.
What I don't get about, like... I hate Twitch times 2 says better spend it on you than weed. That's nice, thank you. I definitely won't spend it on weed, ever. Anyway, I'm confused when conspiracy theories bring up the Bill Gates in his TED Talk and the other times he's talked about bringing the world population down. Like, do they think other people aren't listening? Do they not understand that they are literally saying this in an open forum publicly, in a very public setting where that voice will be amplified, because what they are saying is not sinister? Like, what do they think other people are perceiving this to be, other than the reality that he's talking about increasing, or rather decreasing, infant mortality rates through widespread use of vaccines? Like, we all know what that means. Do they think we don't hear him? Do they think he's giving an evil speech and no one is paying attention?
How can you explain a 50% rise in all-cause mortality after the vaccines and boosters rolled out? They're basically suppressing the data showing the vaccines are killing massive numbers.
There is no evidence that the vaccines for any of the COVID variants are killing anyone at any sort of levels at all. There have not been anything strange with the vaccines. They've been great. I've been vaccinated. I've been boosted multiple times. I got my most recent booster like a month ago, within the last month or so. Like, it's fine. It's absolutely fine. Not only is it fine, by the way, it's good. Please get vaccinated. It'll protect you and the people you care about and society at large. Like, COVID is still out there. People are catching it, getting sick, getting long COVID. Some people die. Like, it's not good. Please get vaccinated. Get your flu shots.
People who have taken it are going to die.
Gnome Pickles says, but Hannah, Peter told me that correlation means causation, and he wouldn't lie to me.
In the next 6 months to 3 to 5 years. Millions have died from the jabs.
It's clearly a widespread
He's literally using a clip from the X-Files.
failure of our immune system.
Through gene tampering. A virus within a virus that was put there through the smallpox vaccine.
The ultimate weapon. The ability to depopulate the planet. To kill everyone but the chosen.
By tampering with their DNA.
The jabs create spike proteins, and they create it by snapping your RNA in half. You are no longer a human anymore.
That doesn't mean anything. What? The RNA vaccine, like, gives your body the ability and teaches your RNA to make the spike proteins that are on the outside of COVID in order to train your immune system to attach to the spike protein and, like, disable the virus. That's the whole point. It's not nefarious. It's not bad. It's good for you. It teaches your body how to fight the actual illness when you get it without having to get any of the illness in you. It's nice. It's good. Gnome Pickle says, but Hannah, Peter... I read that one. Sorry.
You're something else.
This guy turned out to be a liar, by the way. I don't know if Peter heard about that one, because he might watch my video when this is on YouTube. This guy turned out to be a liar. He says he's from some university or something, or got a degree from such and such university. Journalists looked this up, talked to the university. There was no record of this guy having ever gone there. This guy's full of fucking shit.
I can prove that the elite are killing billions of people right now as we speak. And that I predicted this over 10 years ago. And I can counter this attack. And when we counter it, we will create a paradise on Earth. And that's why I'm happy about this situation, even though it's equivalent of a comet hitting planet Earth. We will save humanity, we will create a paradise on Earth, and we will defeat these elite.
Peter's doing great. So as we know, if you haven't seen my other coverage of Peter, you should know that Peter started his time on my channel as a QAnon person. He very deeply is into QAnon, pro-Trump conspiracy theories, believes elections are stolen, etc., etc. Of course, he's an anti-vaxxer. He's also big into weed. He wrote a fiction book, which we read. It was quite funny, unintentionally. I guess he's doing anti-vax stuff now. I've talked to him a couple times. I haven't talked to him in a long time, though. Though I would talk to him again if he ever wanted to. I'm concerned about Peter, because he also lives in a cult. I don't know if I mentioned that. It's a gun cult where they take their, like, AR-15 rifles into church, and they all wear crowns made of bullets. It's real. I'm not making this up. I'm just kind of worried about him and his wife and his kids. I don't know if he's mentally all there. Tea with Goblin says, Cookers hyper-focus on public statements like this because they think that they and they alone have the magical ability to see what us mere NPCs miss, because they are the main characters of life and therefore need to educate us about them. Hashtag telling Hannah's things she already knows.
My name is Peter the Healer.
Oh, also, Peter and I made a wager at one point. He said Trump was going to be back in the White House at some point, you know, in the past. It was one of those QAnon thinking Trump would get placed back in the White House even though Biden was the president. Anyway, the deadline came and went, and he never gave me the bullet crown that I so dearly asked for if I won.
And they say extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. So let me dive right into the evidence. Here we go.
To set up the goals for the next 5 years, and one of them was by 2023 we will reduce the number of people in the world by 50%. I think today this dream is becoming reality.
What you just saw is the CEO of Pfizer talking about killing billions.
No, Peter! No, no, no! At no point did he say killing. Reducing the Earth's population does not mean killing. He is talking about increased vaccination usage, lowering infant mortality rates, having lower birth rates. That's fine. That's a good thing, quite honestly. No one is being killed. No one is being forced not to have children. This is simply the direct result of not having to have so many children because tons of them die of childhood diseases.
Billions of people. He says his dream, his plan with him and his buddies is to kill billions of people.
And to be clear, I don't like the World Economic Forum either, but for completely different non-conspiracy reasons. You don't have to like the World Economic Forum, but like, they're not trying to kill you. They're trying to exploit you and global labor in order to enrich themselves. They're not trying to kill you. They just want to use you.
By next year. This is wild. The fact that he would say this publicly. And there's more.
Caller by Emmy says, every time I see a news story about some guy killing his whole family because of QAnon, I think about Peter. Oh, me too. It's horrifying.
More.
And Citisaurus says he is a sad, strange little man.
2 more videos.
We quoting Toy Story. We're doing Toy Story quotes.
Admitting that they want to kill a lot of people. Check this out.
They want more souls. I want less on the planet.
What you just saw is...
Peter, again, what these people are talking about is reduced birth rates. Consensually. People have fewer kids when the kids they have are healthier. It's just a reality. We have seen this. Why else would they get in front of a camera and say it, Peter? It makes no sense. You're not a detective. You're just a guy in front of a camera making shit up and listening to other crazy people because you spent years of your life wasting away in front of a different camera saying, oh my god, Trump's the president, he's gonna save us all, and then that didn't pan out, so now you're trying to shift to this other crazy conspiracy thing. Peter, stop. Stop wasting time on this. Spend time with your family, Peter. J.I. Lost says, you're a strange one, Mr. Peter. And Meek says, I'm getting major deja vu for some reason. I feel like I've seen these same clips before. Some of them we might have seen before. I'm not sure. Because I know he released, like, parts of the first part of this as a different video.
Someone from the World Economic Forum who is outspokenly calling for murdering billions of people and laughing about it. This is how the elite are. This is their game. They think that they're heroes saving humanity, and in some evil way, but in a good way, somehow they're gonna kill billions of people, but that kind of makes them a good guy, but really...
Peter, no one is killing anyone. No one is killing anyone.
They know they're bad guys. These are twisted people, but they're laughing about it. They think it's funny. Killing billions of people, that's funny. One more clip.
The world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%.
So what you just saw is Bill Gates admitting that the population of the world is a huge problem and that we need to reduce it. And with vaccines, we can reduce the population.
The face of the dumbest person you know, thinking they got it. Peter, read a book. Yeah, that's probably a good idea for an emote. Hold on, let me snip that. I'll deal with that later.
Wow, it gets crazier. Here we go, down the rabbit hole. So here's the evidence that these vaccines are going to kill billions of people. Now take into account, it takes time for the full effect of the damage of the vaccines.
Peter, there is no evidence that the vaccines have done any systemic damage to anyone. Period. It's just not the case.
Kill people. And it's predicted, according to the experts, between 6 to 5 years will be the full effect.
Which experts, Peter? Which specific experts are you talking about? Because you're not naming anyone, you're just like, the experts. That requires a source. Otherwise, you're just making things up. You can't just say things, Peter. I Hate Twitch Times 2 says, how does Peter justify Trump pushing the vaccine he thinks is so dangerous? He did a whole video on it. I forget what his justification was. It was really stupid, though. Citosaurus says, I'm just yelling at my screen right now. Pay attention to the context, Peter.
Of the vaccine damage, and that's when we'll see billions of people dying. So it's not going to be immediate. If it was immediate, then everyone would panic and stop taking the vaccines. The plan wouldn't work. So the vaccines have to kill people relatively slowly.
That's how my evil plans work, too. First name Bunch of Numbers says, finally made it in. I was so excited to see this stream is about Peter. What did I miss, everyone? Just Peter being Peter, you know. Hydrate.
So, let me show you the evidence. What I'm about to show you is Medicare data. Medicare data proving, and this is the most reliable data in the world.
Tea Time T said, he said it was a 4D chess move when Trump was saying take the vaccine, but he really meant don't take it. Oh, yeah.
Proving that the amount of people dying in the United States of all causes has gone up by 50% already. Check it out.
How can you explain a 50% rise in all-cause mortality after the vaccines and boosters rolled out? They're
probably new strains of COVID taking out older people, if I had to guess. The things that he's probably going to talk about, too, things like blood clots, which the conspiracy theorists are big on, can be a symptom of COVID and kill people, so probably COVID-related deaths.
Basically suppressing the data showing the vaccines are killing massive
correlation isn't causation on the bingo card.
Numbers of people.
So there's two more sources who are corroborating what the Medicare data is saying. Now, this source is the CEO of an insurance company who says that there's been a 40% spike in deaths, which is something they've
again, COVID,
never ever seen before in the lifetime of the business. And
Citosaurus says, because the lockdowns are ending, Peter, more people outside equals more people dying of causes. I'm such a dumb bitch. Of course. There probably is COVID factored in, but also people are going out more, so depending on the time period they're reflecting, of course you're going to have a 50% jump because more people are going to be in accidents because they're outside instead of at home. It's probably a combination of those two things. That makes sense. Less people doing work from home and going back to the office, more car accidents, all sorts of things. Color Miami says, also, COVID is leaving behind permanent disability and new comorbidities. Yeah. Skifazoa says, you know programmers look up things like how to kill children processes, so I guess someone should look into this. Into us, rather.
Here's the headline, and this was in February. And so the latest data, which is from Medicare, that's saying 50%. So as I predicted, and a lot of people predicted, it's going to go higher and higher, 50, then 80, then 100, and I think by next year we'll be hitting 1,000% increase in deaths.
This isn't really Peter's confidence interval, but I'll count it because it's Peter pulling a percentage out of his ass. Like, he's just saying a thing he feels. He has no justification for the rate at which he thinks this will rise. He's just decided 1,000 sounds good. So, Peter's confidence interval on the on the bingo card.
Of all causes, but it's really caused by the vaccines, obviously, because they kill people in several ways. And on top of that, you also have more evidence. The CDC's own data, and see, you can see the headline here, and you can also see the graphs here. Their own data is showing spikes in deaths after the COVID shots, which is...
Gnome Pickle says, Peter, how do you react to the graph you showed showing after the spike it drops off?
It's crazy. So you have insurance companies, you have the Medicare data, and you have the CDC data all aligned, all saying the same thing. There's been unprecedented, huge spikes in deaths after these COVID shots and jabs. And this is just the beginning. In the beginning, they want the damage from the vaccines to be a little bit less. And
Peter, there is no evidence that any of what you were saying is connected to vaccinations. The same exact time that the original COVID vaccinations were coming out was the exact time that new strains started popping up, like the Delta variant. There was another wave, and people got hit really hard.
And they want it to be more later on, after maybe a year or two, after everyone's fully boosted and fully vaxxed. So by the time that crazy deaths are happening and they can't hide it anymore, it's too late. Everyone's jabbed. All these people are jabbed. They're all vaxxed. And then it's too late. So it's a slow death, but it's going to continue climbing.
Peter, I'm pretty sure vaccination rates have more or less leveled out. There was a big, upfront people getting vaccinated, and the rate of people that have gone back to get boosters has dropped as time has gone on, as you would probably expect as people get more complacent and it's not in the news as much, etc., etc. So the rate isn't really going up. All that's happening is people like me are re-upping booster shots occasionally, right? So, what's the point? If there were like little bombs in my bloodstream, don't I have enough? Like, what are they waiting for? Do they just need to pump me full of more? Like, what's going on, Peter? Because more people aren't getting vaccinated at a high rate, right? Garat says, hey Hannah, let's say hypothetically that Peter contacted you wanting you to hire you as a manager. He'll pay you whatever sum you want, but you have to transform him into the next Tucker Carlson. How would you do it? I would take the phone, and I would open this part, because this is, and then the screen turns on, and then I'd hit the red button to hang up. Aldera with 100 bits says, happy holiday season. You too.
So this has never happened before in history. This is wild. And so the mainstream media, they're doing fake news, pushing all these articles to try to hide it, right? So they're saying like, oh, blood clots, that's happening from periods, and all these...
What?
These heart attacks, that's totally normal. What was it, like 20-something athletes have been dying from the COVID shots from a heart...
No, there was no evidence that those deaths had anything to do with any sort of vaccines.
Heart attack so far. And then, so they're trying to hide it and make up all these stories. One of them is they've created a new syndrome called Sudden Adult Death Syndrome, called SADS. And they're saying, oh, we don't know why these people are dying. Yeah, there's a new syndrome. It's mysterious, and people are dying.
The source on that is Daily Mail.
Yeah, but we don't know.
So I'm going to put up a big doubt.
Why they're dying. Guess what SADS sounds similar to? SIDS. What's SIDS? Sudden infant death syndrome, also caused by vaccines.
No. There is zero evidence of that shit. Fuck off with that.
Vaccines at birth. Oh, we don't know why these children we just pumped with 10 vaccines within the first 2 months, we don't know why they're dying.
You fucking idiot. Kids who aren't vaccinated die of SIDS, you fucking moron. Nails the Tabaxi says, I have the SADS all the time, but that's just because I'm living in late-stage capitalism. SIDS, I mean, sorry.
They were just murdered by vaccines. And now they have the same thing, SADS. But for adults, people who were pumped with death jabs.
Holy fuck, Peter has gotten so much fucking worse. Andy Pretzel says, as we all know, the Daily Mail is a totally trustable source of news to people who go to the school of Ben Sharpeepo. Enter92 says, howdy, just an update. Angela Lansbury has started her terrible twos early, but seriously glad to be around and support one of our favorite creators that I've followed for roughly a decade. Love you bunches. Thank you.
So this is crazy that not only did these really, really evil people admit that this is their goal, they want to kill people, they want to depopulate people.
Peter is like the king of not understanding clear statements people make. I Like Pie says that slightly askew poster is driving my OCD nuts.
They're going to do it with vaccines, and then you have all the evidence saying
the poster's actually straight, his whole room is crooked.
Saying that it's happening. The mainstream media is trying to hide it a little bit. And so this is crazy what's happening. But don't worry, I have a plan, and together we're going to save humanity. We're going to save billions of lives. So here I'm going to show you that I wrote a book, started writing about over 10 years ago, predicting that the cabal was going to try to depopulate the planet by 95%.
He's talking about the fiction book he wrote.
That was their goal, and they're going to do it with some form of biological attack, not with like guns or nuclear weapons. And so, as you can see here, this is a paragraph taken out of my book Cannabis Paradise, which was designed to predict what was going to happen around this period of time. And I actually predicted that around this time they were going to attempt to kill billions of people. And so I predicted it would be biological attack. I predicted it would happen around this time, and I'm not the only person. Many people did. I didn't make this information up. I got it from reliable sources.
Thinly veiled anti-Semitism for cabal? Sure.
And I predicted this, and I knew even though my book didn't sell a lot, I would be able to prove that 10 years ago, this book was published in 2015, which was 7 years ago, but I started writing it 3 or 4 years before it was published. I was trying to warn people that they're going to use a biological attack to kill billions of people. I wrote in this book. If you pause this video...
I wrote it in a book!
Read. I wrote it in my book. They were going to kill billions of people, see? It was going to be a biological attack, and they weren't going to use nuclear weapons, they weren't going to use guns, because they want our resources. Don't think they don't want us humans. So here's the evidence I predicted it. I already showed you the evidence that they're talking about.
Did he say predicted it?
I showed you the evidence that it's happening. Crazy. So X-Files went up to me. X-Files not only predicted that they were going to use this ultimate weapon to depopulate people for the New World Order plan, but they predicted it would be done by editing our DNA with vaccines. Crazy! Check out these clips.
It's clearly a widespread failure of our immune systems. Through gene tampering. A virus within a virus that was put there through the smallpox vaccine.
The ultimate weapon.
Peter, I don't know how to break this to you. The X-Files, while it is a good show, and I enjoy it, it is fiction. A fictional show is a show based on a screenplay that is fiction, which means it did not happen. Someone imagined something in their head, and then they wrote it on a piece of paper or whatever, in a computer. And then people act it out, and then they film it and edit it, and then they put it out as a product, and you watch it for entertainment. You're not supposed to think the things in it are indicative of necessarily reality. There can be thematic truths in fiction, right? There are stories that have things that ring true, but the events, Peter, the events are fiction. Citosaurus says, if my suspicions are correct, Peter, you can't dress yourself or tie your own shoes, so how do you think you can save the world with your backward philosophy and ideals? I wrote it in my book, guys. I'm super serial. And First Name Bunch of Numbers says, I don't know what's funnier, if Peter doesn't know what this clip is from, or if he thinks the X-Files was a documentary.
Ability to depopulate the planet.
It's true. I was the smoking man the whole time.
To kill everyone but the chosen.
By tampering with their DNA.
So I left the best piece of evidence for last. Here is someone with extremely good credentials who has bravely spoke up and informed people that the COVID shots are designed to kill people in 3 different ways, and that millions...
That seems like overkill. First name bunch of numbers says, I don't know what... Sorry. Overthought says, thank God you've told me to... Sorry. I'm discombobulated. Thank God you've told me shows are fiction. Now my neighbors will stop yelling at me to shut up every time I try to go Super Saiyan. No, I think you should keep trying. Do a spirit bomb. I'm with you.
Millions have already died, and he also mentioned at the end that RNA was manipulated through the vaccines to kill these people.
It's not. It's not. The spike proteins generated by your RNA are gone, like, quite shortly after you actually, like, take the vaccine. Like, your body is trained to do the thing against it, and then they're gone. They disappear. They don't just stay in your system forever.
So, basically, a mountain more evidence I'm adding to the evidence I already showed you that this is happening, and at the end of this video, I'm going to give you my hope, my plan, a gist of it, of how we're going to save people. But check out this clip. It's very scary.
My name's Dr. Sean Brooks, PhD.
Again, that's a lie.
Oxford.
Again, Oxford was called and emailed about this. He's lying about his credentials. He's not a PhD. He's just lying. So we're just going to skip the entire thing. Oh, Rumble's video player.
We're actually considering jabbing their own children.
Oh my god, Peter put really loud music over it too, so we couldn't watch it even if we wanted. That's funny.
You're going to see blood plasma.
Trustworthy.
Peter, do you know what audio levels are? Learn it.
A trustworthy source claims that 4.7 billion people are fully vaxxed and boosted. 5.1 billion have gotten at least 1 shot. Even though this...
Peter, as an evil plan, it wouldn't even make sense, because if you took out 5 billion people from the planet, the entire world economy and society would collapse. Like, you just can't take out, like, half the population of the planet and have things function. It's impossible. It was a bad plan when Thanos did it. It's a worse plan when you're thinking people are doing it. Jiba Hawk says, hi, I'm a wizard from Hogwarts, Gryffindor. Mr. Whiskers, 10 months at tier 3, says 10 months of Hannah viewing is as good as an Oxford degree. And Anti-Pretzel says, in a simple way, the spike proteins of the vaccines are like targets at a gun range. They're there, and then the body that is training at the range uses said targets that improve their aim. I don't think we saw this one, because this is the full part 1 of his documentary. If we did, I apologize. I thought it was new. But, like, I didn't remember watching this.
Seems to be pointing in the direction of most of the planet is going to die from these vaccines. I'm hopeful and I'm excited. Let me explain why. The 3 ways these vaccines kill people. Destroying your immune system. Cannabis boosts your immune system.
There's no evidence of that.
Producing a cytokine storm, which causes organ failure. And guess what? Cannabis stops the cytokine storm, and
weed is not going to stop you from having organ failure. If you would like to do marijuana, that's great. Marijuana's quite nice sometimes, but it's not good for you. It might be mentally good for you if it helps you relax and stuff sometimes, or, you know, it actually can do things in terms of, like, I know CBD has helped some, like, kids with seizures and stuff. Like, I'm sure there are actual medical applications, but what Peter is saying is outright lies and misinformation. Vultureworth with 100 bits says, the wild thing is that the thing about the black oil in X-Files editing DNA does come from real-life science, but it's a bacterium that causes plants to more or less give themselves plant cancer. Agrobacterium tumefaciens. It's way cooler than anything this guy is about, and it's real.
It's your organs. And the 3rd way is blood clots. And guess which is the best anticoagulant medicine in the world?
best anticoagulant. Rivaroxaban. There you go.
Anticoagulant means that...
Coagulant. Cult of Cautious Optimism says, if anyone is confused about my mRNA, DNA thing, Peter's belief is like saying cars produced by a factory have an effect on the building's blueprints.
It will stop blood clots from happening, or fix them if they are happening. Cannabis, of course. So
J.I. Lost says, I recently saw the video on your channel of you covering this, actually. I realized it for certain with the boost in deaths after the vaccine was people being back outside thing. Alright. If so, I apologize.
I knew this was going to happen.
I thought I hadn't seen this, and I know on Truth Social he said he was posting soon, so I thought it was this. I apologize.
And
it's new for some people, and it feels new to me, because I don't remember it.
So he gave us this medicine to save ourselves. And in the next video, I'm going to be talking about the solution, which is cannabis, and I'm going to go into all the science, I'm going to show all the sources, and I'm going to prove without a doubt that cannabis will save us. So I'm going to be making a lot more videos about cannabis versus COVID shot, because this is really the most important topic in the whole world right now. But this specific video is just exposing the problem and proving that it exists, and proving I predicted it, and many people did actually.
Daddy Sume says, if you drive the car out through a wall, it will have to be changed in the blueprints. You will need to update the as-builts. I don't know how blueprints work.
And that they're admitting that they planned on doing this. But I did mention that cannabis can solve the problem. Now, some people may have doubts, for sure, obviously, and that's because maybe they're not aware how cannabis is the best medicine in the world, and it's the most popular medicine in the world, and how it's got hundreds of medicines in it. And some people, like me, consider it to be a panacea. Well, let me explain. I will get into more information in my next video, which is going to be based on the solution. And the solution is going to have information, scientific studies that prove that cannabis will be able to save these billions of lives. Scientific studies that prove that the 3 ways these vaccines kill people, cannabis can protect people from all 3 of those things, which is crazy. But of course, God is a genius, and he knew this was going to happen.
Okay, I think I remember this video now, because I remember God is a genius. God is like so smart, guys. He's so smart. He's like an Einstein. Gnome Pickle says, it is Toad's magic, guys. I'll show you studies later to prove it, I swear.
Long time ago, so he made sure we were able to protect ourselves. All we have to do is transition humanity off the big pharma cult, which is murdering people, back to God's medicine, which is cannabis and other plants as well. But cannabis is going to be what's going to save these billions of people from these COVID shots.
Peter understands that a lot of pharmaceuticals are produced from, like, plant extracts and stuff, right? Like, plants are used to make medicine.
And in the next video after that, I'm going to explain my...
Tea with Goblins said, gonna duck out for a bit, finally got my appointment to get my boy germ gel prescribed after my appointment had to be rescheduled due to the coof. Next stop, Awkward Peach Fuzz. Nice. Good for you.
My detailed plan how we together are going to both save billions of people, and then we're going to turn this around and make cannabis even more popular to the point where there's cannabis hospitals and cannabis everywhere. Believe it or not, there's a huge silver lining here. They cannot hide the evidence that cannabis is the best medicine in the world anymore. They can't hide how powerful it is. Once people...
As someone who has partaken of the devil's lettuce, it is not. It isn't. It just isn't, Peter. Like, there have been times when, I don't know, I know Peter thinks it's like an analgesic, which it can be in, like, some small extent, but, like, Peter, if I were to take an edible and get a headache, I wouldn't take another edible. I'd take a Tylenol.
People see how it saves billions of people, there won't be any denying cannabis is the best medicine in the world, and it will replace pharmaceuticals. And when that happens, we will enter a new era of healing, which is going to bring about a paradise, in my opinion, because once we stop being poisoned to death and actually heal ourselves and have incredible health and everyone's mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and physically healthy, that will bring a paradise on earth, especially compared to what's happening right now, which is hell. They're trying to kill billions of people. So I'll get into more detail about the solution and my plan for all of us to work together to save these billions of lives in my next 2 videos. But I just want to give you a gist because I don't want it to be all doom and gloom in this video. I want to give you guys hope because this is actually a very exciting time. We can work together. We can save the world. We have meaning. We have purpose. We can do this. We can do it. I believe in us. God believes in us. If you ever wanted redemption for past mistakes, you ever wanted to save millions of lives, you have that power to do that now just by sharing information and by helping people heal with cannabis. So thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. This is the most important video I ever made in my entire life. I really appreciate it if you share this because people need to be aware of this problem. It's a huge problem. It's the equivalent of a comet hitting Earth. This is catastrophic, but we will unite against these elite. We will save billions of lives, and that will prove cannabis is the best medicine in the world, and we will create a paradise here on Earth. Thank you. This is Peter the Healer, and God bless the world.
Oh my god. Cult of Cautious Optimism says, marijuana is actually not an analgesic as it distracts from, but does not mitigate pain. Basically, from a medical science perspective, it's good for cancer pain, specifically seizure disorders and PTSD. Caveat, the field is always expanding and may change. Thanks for the info. Let's see, I'm going to look at Peter's Truth Social real quick. I'm going to turn this off so you can't see my Truth Social profile, which is very important to protect. Posted 3 days ago, Peter the Healer. I'm a health expert that gives people free health consultations. I believe I know how to solve most health problems. Ask me a question. I've helped hundreds of people heal. I'll reply as soon as possible. No one commented on his post. Actually, I don't think so. Let's see. Nope. No one commented. Chiba Hawk says, that's the most liberal use of the word expert I've ever seen. There was one re-truth. Let's see if I can I see who the re-truth is? I don't know how it works. Oh, is it his wife? It might be his wife. I think it's his wife. His wife. Alright. Let me see what else he's posted recently, if anything. Nah, that's it for now. Alright. Moving on. Peter's crazy. It's always good to hear from him. Mr. Whiskers says, if you delete a post, is it an untruth? Chris. Let's do Chris.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you may be. CC here, Chris, from New York, Westchester County. It's 11/23/22, and thank you, NASA, for giving us a preview of what's to come in the future. Apparently, in 2024, we'll be launching our first manned mission to the moon. This was just a little...
The first manned mission to the moon since the 70s.
Test run, you know, a preview of the sloppiness and the nonsense that's about to be around the corner for us. There's no way in hell they're going to be doing this.
There's a good chance that Chris might have a complete mental breakdown when we go back to the moon. Like, I really don't know what's going to happen, but I don't think it's going to be good for his mental health.
On 24. It's just not a chance in hell. After witnessing this debacle of total nonsense. Where once again, we have a picture of Earth, 90% cloud cover. You can't tell a continent from...
Peter's upset at the photo that because they did the test run of the Artemis rocket recently. It's going around the moon, I think, and coming back or something like that. And they took a picture of the Earth from far away, which flat earthers are always like, give us a picture of the Earth all in one picture. And they did. And of course, flat earthers don't like that because it proves them wrong. So he's just like, I just don't like it. It's cloudy. Yeah, there are fucking clouds on Earth, Chris. What do you want him to do? Sorry, we should have turned off the clouds for the picture. What the fuck?
I don't know what it is. Is it a marble that I'm looking at? Remember those little marbles we had when we were kids? Yeah, just take a picture of it. That's the picture NASA provides for you. And when it swung around and took a picture of Earth, when it was this small little dot, and then all of a sudden it's 8 times the size. Wow. And
yeah, I think he's at work.
Once again, where are the stars? Where are they? Because I don't see any stars.
You live in upstate New York. Probably a lot of light pollution, Chris.
We're in 2022 right now, and we have one of the best availability of photography out there. HD, digital. And
Chris, why are you trying to take photos of stars just with a camera? You need a telescope. Like, you can hook up a camera to a telescope, but you're not going to get good images of the night sky, like, probably with just your camera.
There's no stars still, and they'll never be able to ever do that, because space doesn't exist.
Sergeant Reckless, thanks for 14 months.
Okay, what you're looking at are cartoons. What you're looking at is fake.
Doesn't understand how cameras work. You're right, he was talking about the photo because he doesn't understand exposure.
And in which
Sorry, I misunderstood him.
Looking at is just total nonsense. I mean, look at the photography of the moon. There's the dark side of the moon. It's just a big gray.
It's dark.
It's like me photographing this piece of white paper and then maybe drawing a little 3D crater and having it go like, maybe about as fast as my arm goes, like this. Oh my! It does surprise me. Nobody in the below in chat room is even discussing Artemis. I would be, because it's the biggest joke out there, the biggest bullshit lie, amongst others, amongst evolution, the moon landing, all of it. Nonsense. Dinosaurs.
I forget Chris doesn't believe in dinosaurs. Anti-Pretzel says, if you want an epic picture of the stars, go out to the Mojave, to a place that no light pollution is for literal miles. You'll see in absolute awe the pure beauty of what lies beyond our atmosphere.
You see, the lie is that the conspiracy, what they called conspiracy theories were, JFK and 9/11 and all that other nonsense.
9/11 out of nowhere.
The funny thing about it is that those are all distractions. Yeah, I agree that they are.
9/11 was a distraction from Flat Earth.
Lies, all of them. But they're just distractions to keep you talking about nonsense and having your friends look, because you're bringing up JFK and you're bringing up Twin Towers and you're bringing up many other things like the moon landing. And they're there to keep your friends saying, that's the wacko. That's Mr. Wacko right over there.
Yeah, you are a wacko. Aldra says, since he's doing this from work, can we infer his wife is really, really sick of his nonsense? He does it at home, too. Fenekagami says, what's funny about his sloppiness comment is flat earthers constantly bring up the big numbers and massive forces involved in going to the moon, so the sloppiness is actually evidence of how real the Artemis test is. If it went perfectly, that would be suspicious because of how hard what they were doing should be. Conspiracy theorists always know how to win. Heads I win, tails you lose. They do that kind of thing with their claims. Oh, the Artemis went off without a hitch? Oh, that's too perfect. Oh, there were problems? It's because they can't do it, because it's not real.
So whatever he says, don't believe him. And then one day you stumble across Flat Earth. See, you've been discussing all this other nonsense that you didn't know were all distractions at one point to keep you away.
Why does Cece's wife stay with him? I don't know. Maybe he's a nice guy otherwise. Maybe it's a financial thing. Maybe it's a religious thing. There are a lot of reasons. People of that generation don't get as divorced quite as often. For a variety of reasons.
Of finding the most important thing.
Or maybe his stroke game is fucking bonkers. Cloud Wizard says it's because he knows how to hard-boil an egg.
That you found.
J.I. Lost says, you've been believing all this other nonsense. Believe my nonsense instead.
Alright, and that's why people don't take you seriously. Okay? Because you brought up different things at different times of your life, and they look at you as a conspiracy theorist. You see, conspiracy is a word, guys. Remember that. Conspiracy to commit something. That is an actual word. Yet the news will make it look like it's got the definition of people who are looking at things that everybody knows are true, but you think are a lie. It's funny, guys, isn't it? But don't worry, people will get it. They're starting to get it. They're starting to understand that the Earth is flat. They're starting to understand that it's motionless, that it's everything up there is moving and you're not going anywhere. And all this whole Mars mission, moon mission, and all this other nonsense is another distraction of bullshit, you know, to reinforce that you live on a spinning wet ball in space. I thank you for subbing, and thank you for viewing my videos. Let me be a part of your life. Alright. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you may be. CC here, Chris, from New York, Westchester County. It's
filming in car.
11/25/22. I hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving, and happy Thanksgiving, or whatever. It's the same fucking day. Every day is the same on our flat Earth here. You know, I was doing a little research, and I didn't realize that Grand Central Station was built in 1913. Okay, my grandfather was born in 1911. Okay, and I remember him telling me stories about how he used to walk to school without shoes. You remember that?
Is this just going to be a case where Chris doesn't understand the difference between living in rural America and like an urban center like New York was in the early 20th century? Like, there's a big difference between the cities and the rural. There still is today, but like, that was still a thing then.
Yeah, that's, the old timers always like to say that, but God rest his soul, he's no longer with us. You remember, you know the stories of your grandfather and your grandmother. You know, they used to walk to school without their shoes, and it was snowing, and they couldn't get a ride. I mean, really, guys, Grand Central Station was built in 1913.
There are literally pictures of it being built.
Okay. We were just introduced to electricity at that point.
Complex feats of, like, architecture long predate our understanding of electricity.
That's right. But yet they were able to scale such an incredible building which means they started building it. I don't know. How long did it take them? What, 20, 30? What number did they fucking make up? Tell me, please. What was it? Did it take 20 years? 10 years?
How long did it take to build Grand Central Station? 10 years. Took 10 years.
Let me get 10 years. It took them 10 years to build fucking Grand Central Station. Meanwhile, I can't get a fucking pothole filled here in 2 years.
Do you think those things are equivalent, Chris?
Relax. Relax.
This man's gonna have an aneurysm. Stone Corbell says, is he into Tartaria and Mudflood now? He is. He's big into it.
Alright, so, I will be visiting NYC. That's right, I got my P1000 right now. I'm not driving down there, I'll have to take a train because, I don't know where to park, so... And I really don't want to deal with spending $40 parking my car in the city with the congestion tax. Oh, that's even better. Isn't that nice? Oh, yes, that's right. Did I forget to tell you that? The mayor has implemented a congestion tax for drivers to go into Manhattan. That's right. It's an extra bonus. It's
to disincentivize you from doing so.
A gift that keeps on giving with these fucking politicians who are making millions. And you keep voting them in. Just a quick sidebar. I tried to go on, actually I was on his channel, but I fucked up and it was my fault. I didn't realize that my phone was on and I was actually, this is like amateur hour, you know, when it comes down to live shit. But I didn't think the phone would have any effect on it. Apparently it does. With the background noise. You know, so I'm sitting there with my headphones on and I'm on Speaker's Corner. And, but he did ban me though. I don't appreciate that. You know, after I figured out what the problem was, I wanted to call back and talk, but I was banned. So, fuck it, who cares? You know, who cares? I don't know any of these people, okay? All I can tell you right now is, hey, look, we're all flat earthers, and we need to, at some point, all of us get together and have our own little flat earth convention, you know.
There have been flat earth conventions, Chris.
Anyway, I'll touch base with you when I'm on the train. Thank you.
And we get to see him walk around New York, but before I gotta take a quick break and grab a snack. So let me put something on while I grab that and fill up my water. I'll put on a sausage guy thing. Okay, enjoy this. I'll be back in like 2 or 3 minutes. I'll see you guys then.
Well, hey there, folks, and welcome back, I guess. The soup, salad, and breadstick lunch from Olive Garden. I admire Olive Garden for knowing that their clientele would gladly shove their faces full of breadsticks. All right, so let's see what's all in here. Well, of course we have the salad that comes with a generous amount of tomatoes and other stuff. And then we're gonna add the greatest soup known to man, the chicken gnocchi soup, right on top of it. Alright, and we got 1 breadstick, 2 breadsticks, and 6. We're gonna need all that bread to soak up all this liquid. Oh shoot, I forgot the dressing. No problem, we can add that right now. There we go. Can't forget the croutons either. A pack of Romano cheese. And an Andes mint to balance it all out. There. Now we're good. Oh, crud. Right on the floor. Oh, all the liquid. Oh, there's all the liquid that's been building up. Really, it looks like a pretty delicious chopped salad. It's a wet one. All right, for sure this is getting baked. There's no way this will hold up in a pan for more than 5 seconds. When the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie, that's a sausage. That's a sausage. That's a lot of sausage filling. Gross. In 3, 2, 1, let's sausage. We don't want thick sausages, so we're gonna pull this along so we make nice thin ones. And that's gonna be that. Not bad! These sausages burst while baking when we link them, so we're not gonna link this one and see what happens. With special thanks to today's Mark Boxalo box artist, this guy. It's an infinite Ruffalo. A cosmic infinite Ruffalo. But will it blow? Oh, no. Pretty good spray, good stickage. I'm gonna have to give that Will It Blow 4 Mark Ruffalos. I'm thinking we gotta go low and slow on this one. Bake it at 300 for 45 minutes. We're a little more than halfway done and things are moving along pretty good. See you in another 20. All right, we're almost done here, and we got a rupture in the back. I didn't even see that. We got a burst. It still doesn't feel done, so I'm gonna let it ride for another 15 minutes. All right, see how we did. Well, besides this one big burst area, everything else seems to have come out fine. Well, we packed it in loose, and boy, is this one limpy sausage. All right, well, let's open it up, see how we did. It smells like potato soup. Okay, here we go. It's very good. This is a really delicious sausage. Give ourselves a little sausage autopsy. As you can see, the biggest problem with this sausage is the mush factor. It's very mushy. I don't know what amount of baking will cause this to solidify, but we baked this for an hour and we got like a burst 20 minutes in. It has a mashed potato-y interior, I'm not gonna lie. Basically, it tastes like you dipped your garlic bread in soup with pieces of salad in it. It tastes as fresh as the Tuscan sun. And even though it is mushy, it's not pouring out of there. It's staying firm well inside there. I'm pushing pretty dang hard and it's not coming out. For me, easily this is a 4 out of 5. For someone else eating this sausage, I think it may be a little bit too mushy for them. So we won't give it exactly a 4. We're gonna give this sausage here a 3.5 out of 5.
Bop 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 bop.
All right, so I think it's...
All right, thanks for bearing with me during that. All right, let's see Chris in New York City.
Okay, down here in Manhattan, to show you the architectural engineering of the ceiling of Grand Central Station. Okay, now remember guys, this was built in 1913. Okay, and apparently they have all the constellations and some constellations on the ceiling, which I must have missed because I've come down to Grand Central Station quite a few times. And I was worried about going to the bank, but my bank's right down the street, right here. I can get cash and everything's here in the city for you. All the wacko.
That's how banks work.
And the mailman, hey, how you doing? Mailman's watching me, and so far I've got a question with my package because I got a P1000 here. He said I could take pictures inside of the Grand Central, but no tripod allowed. And apparently there are no masks or anything like that are required anymore. Thank God. That's the only reason why I'm down in NYC today. And it is beautiful, isn't it? Hard to believe all this was made in 1913. You know, I had to take a picture of this. I mean, look at this thing. It's like 20 feet high.
Stone Gorpel says, yeah, and the Parthenon was built in 447 BCE. What's your point? We've known how to engineer stuff like this for literal millennia.
It must have cost, I don't know how much fucking money. Oh, the camera, the eye in the sky is right over here. Remember, their camera's all over watching you to make sure everything's all right. But yet the city is a fucking disaster. Okay, I guess I bothered these people. Oh, no. So here we are.
He says, some weird shit, and by weird shit, I mean vaguely racist shit in a sec. I don't know where this is coming from, just a warning.
On Park Avenue. I'm about to go into Grand Central just to take some peachy? It's a new type of skincare. I'm going to take some peachy pictures and check it out. See what happens. I believe that's Park Avenue right over there. Yeah, that's Park Avenue right over there. Picking a bag. Doing a lot of construction here in New York City. And I'll tell you, there are a lot of Asian people down here. I haven't been down here in a couple of years now, but there is a huge surge of the Asian population. Well, at least at Grand Central Station. I don't know about the rest of the city, but look at this construction. I don't know what the fuck that is. All right, remember, this is all I had to come down. I have to come down here to prove this to myself. Not only are the constellations on the ceiling, but they're inverted too. Okay, so you tell me how the fuck somebody back in we can't even, can you do that? Can you actually take a constellation right now? Just free writing right now. Take a constellation and invert it and then write it down on a sheet of paper for me.
I'm not an artist. Presumably a fucking artist, an architect, a mason, an engineer, whatever fucking made the ceiling in Grand Central. It's not just a rando.
Please, do it right now for me. All right, stand by.
What the fuck is this fucking problem, man?
There we go. Perfect. All right.
I'm sure New Yorkers love when people stand in the middle of Grand Central Terminal and fucking just take pictures, by the way. Here's truly the one pony says, oh god, what's CC babbling about today? The ceiling at Grand Central Station. Doesn't understand architecture on bingo. Yep.
Part of the pictures back in 1913 when they built this. Which, I don't know how the fuck they did that. Considering I can't even do it right now with our technology.
Overthought says, I mean, I look up at the sky and I don't see any fish, do you? Sometimes.
turn and make a right.
What a weird-ass guy. So that's what Chris has been up to. Take a look at the bingo card. Recording in car. Tracking microchip implants. Expert gives opinion outside a field of expertise for Peter, saying he's an expert on medicine. Spurious symbology is evidence. Doesn't understand architecture. Peter's confidence interval. Tartaria for Chris. Correlation isn't causation. 9/11 out of nowhere. Flat Earth. I think that's it. Oh, doesn't understand how cameras work. Thank you. Nah, 80 he didn't get specific enough. We got 99. Did we have a false flag? I don't remember that coming up. Oh, I guess for 9/11 being a distraction. That's fair. You're right. Okay. Sorry. It's really good. Okay, I'm done. Sorry. Didn't mean to make it an impromptu mukbang. I know a lot of people don't like listening to other people chew. I apologize. Oh, here's a couple flat earthers. One of them is reviewing another flat earther doing a debate with a normal round earth person, and he's mad about the performance of the flat earther. This guy is the same guy who did the "there's no downward bias" video. Same guy.
A feel of red dwarf about it. That's not the apparent horizon, Dave.
It's too stupid to be debating this stuff, Dave. Yeah, that's why I'm humiliating you.
Then this. And these little waves, again, it's the same way the sun sets. It's being blocked. My finger...
Sorry, Dave, we don't need you to tell us how the sun sets, my friend. There's a positive assertion that the Western world believe in that it's a geometric horizon, limiting your view at 1.2 times the square root of the observer sight in feet. This alternative view about what it's doing isn't required. You're not my guru, you stupid man. Don't try and preach to me about what you say it is, especially when the positive claim that it's Earth curve getting in the way isn't being debunked by you. You're worthless to us. First debunk that it's Earth curve, then we'll look at your positive assertions and maybe rip your head off with our very, very sharp and shiny sword that we use for bullshitters who make claims they can't back.
I can't hide my face if it was a wave, but if my finger was closer, I can set behind it. It disappears behind it.
But little waves can't explain this. So
yes, a millimeter above your eye level can knock out an entire city skyline.
Where's your Lego?
100%.
Where's your Lego video?
This is not from.
I don't know where it is.
That was a good Lego video.
No, I'm just showing that when you zoom, when this is zoomed out, when you zoom it in, It doesn't matter if you can take the original screenshot and just zoom that original. It still gives you the same. So you're not able to bring this back from a zoom because.
Who cares? If the Earth was a sphere, you'd have a sphere-edge horizon blocking the view of those oil rigs in the Black Swan. It isn't.
Andronicus Khan says the last statement Chris made was a very enlightening look into his psyche. How could they build this back then? I couldn't build it now, i.e. if he doesn't have that specific knowledge, how could anyone have it? Yeah, I've talked about that before. It's very strange. He feels the need to think of himself as extraordinary, it seems like. It's weird.
Hills that block things don't move. It's game over. That's the end of the argument. We could talk about perspective and offer up our arguments for what the horizon is, even though we haven't got a positive claim about it. But that would just be offering up a false dichotomy that Jaren wants to buy in. What Jaren wants to do, being the class act debater that he is offer a false dichotomy argument, an explanation he isn't required to provide, so that the guy can spend the next half an hour pulling apart Jaren's explanations for perspective causing the horizon, rather than defending his own claim that it's Earth curve. Now me, I wouldn't be making a positive claim about what causes it because I've got no need to do so. I don't have a paradigm and worldview resting on my claim that it's a physical obstruction at 1.2 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. I don't have that positive claim to defend.
He does the Ben Shapiro thing where he repeats a lot of talking points very quickly to give the illusion that he's knowledgeable, when in reality all of these things individually could be debunked quite easily, but he's gish-galloping the conversation so it becomes difficult to keep up with all the bullshit. It's this whole shtick. Screaming at the radio, thanks for 19 months.
No requirement to explain how it works or what it does. But as a ball buster, what I do is take apart their claim that their paradigm does rest on, that it's a physical obstruction. And this man is about to go on to explain how we've got a physical obstruction to his demonstrated boats being blocked by his claim of Earth curve. Now that's a white swan.
To the distance, it's still the same as it.
Taking it apart.
I'm just going to see if he doesn't yell at him anymore. I just liked him yelling at him.
Showing oils, right?
No, I think we're good.
I heard this is a lie, and that it was in fact an object and persons of unknown origin.
The Round Table is a secret society that was started around the turn of the 20th century by Freemason and Rothschild agent Lord Alfred Milner.
Freemasons on the bingo card.
Who was entrusted the mission by Cecil Rhodes. When statesman and businessman Cecil Rhodes died in 1902, he was one of the wealthiest men in the world. In his will, Rhodes devoted his entire fortune to the creation of the Round Table groups, the purpose of which would ultimately be to form a world government, or as he said in the will, to and for the establishment, promotion, and development of a secret society, the true aim and object whereof shall be for the extension of British rule throughout the world. Cecil Rhodes' strong desire for world government was epitomized in his statement, "I would annex the planets if I could." Dr. Carroll Quigley wrote, "In the middle 1890s, Rhodes had a personal income of at least £1 million a year, which he spent so freely for mysterious purposes that he was usually overdrawn on his account. Cecil Rhodes' commitment to a conspiracy to establish world government was set down in a series of wills described by Frank Edelet in his book American Rhodes Scholarships. Frank Edelet wrote, quote, "In 1888, Rhodes made his third will, leaving everything to Lord Rothschild, his financier in mining
We already
enterprises,
had thinly veiled
with an accompanying
anti-Semitism.
letter enclosing the written matter discussed between us. The model for this proposed secret society was the Society of Jesus, though he mentions also the Masons. The secret society was organized on the conspiratorial pattern of circles within circles. Professor Quigley informs us that the central part of the secret society was established by March 1891 using Rhodes's money. The organization was run for Rothschild by Lord Alfred Milner. The Round Table...
This is my least favorite kind of conspiracy theory. They're just talking about, like, dudes from the 1800s with weird mustaches that just liked to sit around and smoke cigars with their weird other white cis-het dudes conspire.
Worked behind
just boring.
The scenes to the preservation. One of the most The first two groups at the end.
Oh, I thought this would be fun. Well, fun being a relative term. Let's take a look at the daily discussion boards on the Q forums to see what the QAnon conspiracy theorists are up to. Discordant Vol says this is the begats section of conspiracy theories. Let me make sure this is sort by top. Let's see what the most popular things are. I miss my daily walks since my lovely dog died. Sad. Realized I need to keep up my fitness level. Too muddy to walk locally, so went into the nearest little town for a walk around the park, coffee and delicious Portuguese pastel de nata pastry. Had an opportunity to tell two people the truth about climate change in Ukraine. One listened politely but seemed unconvinced. The other was riveted and shocked. Nice to get a positive response. First Name Punch Number says, oh boy, I'm ready to have an extremely normal time on this extremely normal forum. You may think you have seen the sun, yet have we really seen it shine? Best is yet to come. Clear your mind. Heal. Deep dark world is being exposed. Have faith in humanity. Dark religion. Dark secret. Whole diseased temple. Okay. This person says, hello, Georgia. I have been thinking for a few weeks about my 40K view, and I was browsing the board last night to catch up, and I have to say I have an unpopular opinion confession. 1. New Q ain't Q. There's a new person being Q on 8kun. It's probably Jim Watkins. 2. Musk is the Antichrist. That is all for this evening, except also that I am totally super cereal on a diet and I can't cook any more tasty food for a while. It's gonna be salads from here on out. Sad Pepe. I will be jealous of all of your tasty foods. Music recommendation of the day, and then there's a link to a very old song. This is greatawakening.win. About bloody time you posted. Just now I opened up Sir General Chat with the internet of reporting you MIA. R.E. the unpopular opinion. I'll counter you with another unpopular opinion. New Q ain't Q. Not enough data for me at this point. Dunno. Don't really care too much. Musk is. He ain't the Antichrist. We should read scripture more. Even in Paul's day, he spoke about who the Antichrists were. The Hollywooded idea that one all-powerful individual will rise up and delude the world, a la The Omen, isn't correct. It's the resulting mishmash of limited scriptural understanding combined with a theological stabs in the dark and a good smattering of attempting to interpret based on the wrong premises. Anywho, just to reiterate, about bloody time you showed up. Jesus Christ. Oh no. Overt anti-Semitism on the bingo card, because this person thinks the Antichrist will be Jewish. So that's just overt anti-Semitism. I don't fear him, I just think he's the Antichrist. I think he's going to position himself as the hero of the right, get a bunch of people back on Twitter so he can harvest their data for its AI project. And he's gonna make that X thing that's like your car, your phone, your Amazon, all them Starlinks. And then he's gonna make a chip and try to chip everybody with his newfound trust. I also think he's gonna do a preemptive black hat maneuver to expose child trafficking, and that way the black hats can get rid of the expendables and low-level players and make it look like they cleaned house before white hats get the chance to do disclosure. Everyone thinks it's safe to jump back on Twitter, but all the government tech that was used for Twitter is conveniently privately owned now. What? And I hope... How come not very many people are really noticing the similarities between Jack Zuckerberg and Elon? He seems like another prop to me. And who are all these Elon worshippers anyways? I never met them on the street. I don't even know who they are. Why does he always have a built-in cult following? Are they artificial? Who'd he take money from? Old ballsack, not once but twice, and not even really that long ago either. How come no matter how much money he loses, people keep investing without even asking questions? My running theory is that he's a black hat and he's coming to chip everybody, and he's gonna do it all with a profile pic of a costume he wore with an upside down cross, hiding in plain sight. Ooh, those are some brain worms. Discordant Vol says, how do these people live like this? Uncomfortably would be my guess. Vindicator63 says, I'll gladly take the Dumbass of the Day award here, but I have a question. We know Biden is fake and all that. Do we? I'm not here to debate it. I was just curious, though, with this business about the White House being decorated for Christmas, where the hell are the pictures being generated? From what location? I was listening to Scott McKay the other night, and he mentioned that on one of his recent trips, they drove down into D.C. to the White House, but he couldn't see it until his driver pointed out they were standing right in front of it, the iconic area behind the fence where you could see the balcony side. His driver told him to look for the flagpole. Granted, this was early in the morning and the streets were empty, but still, I remember the White House was always easily visible, at least back in the days of Reagan. What am I missing? Thanks, any details would be helpful. It's not that I haven't been paying attention, but I'm just having trouble wrapping my head around it. Sure, right-wing terrorists keep trying to kill people, so it's probably not a good idea to have people gather directly in front of the White House. Discordant Vol says the Red Yarn Pushpins budget is starving out their families. Oh, did you guys see Scott Adams? This was crazy. Scott Adams is the guy who made Dilbert. Here's weird story I promise is true. Yesterday, I had an almost hallucinogenic experience of communicating with the creators of the simulation. I spoke with them out loud for about 30 minutes and could feel the presence, but I was skeptical. I offered them a challenge. I asked them to prove I was in a simulation by solving a problem I had experienced for months. My knees were continually sore from exercise, so I asked the creators of the simulation to make my knee pain go away, and to do so instantly. That would be the test. My knees hurt when I asked, and then my knee pain disappeared instantly, and there is zero pain today as well. I don't know what it means. I only know that it happened. If it sometimes seems as if I am authoring reality right in front of you, you might not be wrong, but the placebo effect is also an explanation. So that's what the Q people are up to. They're doing great. Mr. Whisker says, cool story, bro.
SpaceX. Elon Musk says engineering is magic made real. Indeed, it does look like magic how something so massive like this could literally land the way that it lands.
A lot of engineers worked for a long time to get this to work. I genuinely was skeptical of this shit when they revealed what this thing looked like. I'm kind of fucking shocked. But hey, good for the engineers. Fuck Elon Musk, though.
I would say magic is at play. I really would. Because it seems so unfathomable. It really does. Look at that.
She thinks rockets are magic now. That's good.
It goes from being on its side, and you know it's going to be top heavy, extremely top heavy, and there's no wings like, you know, stretching out to kind of guide it, but it somehow, it just lands perfect. It does.
Why would it be top heavy? The rockets are at the bottom. That's the heavy part.
So when Mr. Musk says engineering is magic made real, I think he's right. I really do. Look at this. This looks like, wow. When I look at this, I see beings. I see certain types of beings in different colors. I do. I see magical colors. I do.
What colors are magical colors?
It is magical. Look at what's coming from the bottom of the rocket. Isn't that...
That's exhaust?
Neat how it has little white circular like spots, and then we have these two lines to the side.
Like that's the rocket
really
using like thrust to maneuver and slow its descent.
Neat. And then we make it shrink again, and look at the colors. Look at this. So
Mike Mack says, the way Hannah says, it's Baja's birthday reminds me of this.
Happy Star Wars Day, everyone. Today is also my birthday. And because it's my birthday, I get to introduce you to my girlfriend, who is amazing. Happy Star Wars Day, everyone. Today is also my birthday. And because it's my birthday, I get to introduce you to my girlfriend, who is amazing. Today is also my birthday. And because it's my birthday, today is also my birthday.
Marcus, you don't want to do this. Let her go.
My girlfriend.
Breaking news, a man is currently holding his girlfriend hostage. Police are outside of his home waiting negotiation terms.
This is Rover 2L2, Eye in the Sky. We have visual on target. I repeat, we have visual on target.
Hi, we are live in front of the home where a woman is being held hostage.
News, a man is currently holding his...
Retro Pastiche says Ocarine is the magic color according to Terry Pratchett.
why do we have two white things side by side, and then this is kind of like it is. Let's see the top of this. I didn't look up here. Okay, they don't got the wings out. They don't. Or how about this pretty color? Look at this, orange, purple, and look how it wiggles. It does wiggle. It really does wiggle. Coming straight down. And then what about this? I mean, it's a really cool photo. It really is a cool photo. Let's see, what can we see up here by this? Looks kind of interesting. It really...
Auntie Pretzel says Gina is yet again harmlessly tinfoil hatted. I understand why she might think they're magical, though. It's astounding how we managed to make something like that force itself away from our world by pure use of heat and fire. Glad Gina's just the oh wow kind of crazy and not the old man screams at sky or weed is a cure-all crazy.
It really does, and I'm not just saying that. It is quite fascinating. It does look so magical, Mr. Musk. Extremely, extremely magical. So, the colors are really... Oh, what on earth is underneath here? Looks like some little magical cubes. It kind of does look like magical cubes or something. Magical lines. Look at the bottom of that. This thing looks like it's on fire. But it still is like so magical.
Gnome Pickle says magical. It looks like a ship from Flash Gordon, and that makes me smile so gosh darn much.
It is an engineering feat. We do like looking. We love it. We do love it, and I guess we're imagining little cubes. I guess Gina Honey's imagining little cubes here. Perhaps I am. Perhaps I'm not. But this doesn't look normal to me. But that's okay. Our world isn't normal, so nothing has to look normal. It can be magical. Absolutely magical is what it can be. Totally magical. After all.
After Act, thanks for 12 months.
Mr. Musk says that engineering is magical with magical orange colors and gray smoke and...
Did I get a raid or something? All of a sudden the viewership numbers went up, but I didn't see like a raid thing.
Lots of lovely birds that were... Is that a bird? Well, I wanted to call it a bird. Birds that were doing flybys. As his rocket, his nice shiny rocket, came resting. Oh, what is that? Looks like a little man. That's yellow. It does, helping guide the rocket. That's okay. He can guide it. So can we look at it again? Let's look at it. It really is spectacular.
She's so earnest.
It is very spectacular looking. Looks nice. It does. Look at that thrusters and the green that just went. Yes, and the birds flying around. I'm amazed they didn't die. But they hung around. They did, because it's so magical. The magic was all in the... So, Mr. Musk, engineering is magic made real. Especially your rocket. So, with that being said, hello wherever you are in any part of the world. Hello. From my heart to yours. Love you.
Oh. Tucker White 94 with 28 months says 28 motherfucking months of watching Hannah. What the goddamn hell is wrong with me?
I've shared
I don't know.
these.
First name Bunch of Numbers says, sometimes I wish all this was magical, but honestly, it's so much cooler to know how things work. Like the shock diamonds, for instance. Very cool name. Very understood. Bright areas seen in the exhaust. Oh, cool. Procagom says Gina is 100% high on something. It might just be life, but whatever it is, I hope she shares. There's enough life to go around. This is kind of funny because it's a flat earther talking shit about other flat earthers who are into cryptocurrency. So let's watch a flat earther who's... Even this flat earther is smart enough to know cryptocurrency is stupid. Probably for the wrong reasons, though.
Good morning. So I've been watching some of these World Cup games while I've been doing things, just kind of... I'm not much of a soccer fan. I think I watched total of 5 soccer games in my life, or football, whatever you call it. But I'll give them one thing. I mean, at least it's 45 minutes straight of the actual game per half, rather than 3 minutes of game, 3 minutes of commercial, 2 minutes of game, 3 minutes of commercials. So, you know, that's at least enjoyable. You get to actually watch a game for 45 minutes. But I notice as I'm watching the game, what do I see flashing up on their little, you know, on the sideboards of the field? We've got the electronic billboards, and what keeps flashing up there? Just like I've seen many times on UFC and other sports stadiums. Crypto.com. Go to crypto.com for all your crypto needs. Because crypto's gonna...
By the way, this reminds me. I want to give you guys a link. Because you guys know I do anti-crypto content. There's a new channel that's very small. Like under 100 subscribers that I've been watching. And I want to give a link so you guys can, like, subscribe. Because I think he could do good content. He's new at YouTube, so he's a little rough around the edges, but he does, what he's doing is he's doing a series where he plays all sorts of different crypto games and reviews them for how bad they are. So, please check this guy out. Give him a subscription, or just, you know, check out his videos or whatever. Again, he's newer at YouTube, so I think there's some room for improvement in his presentation, but that's just the kind of thing that comes with time and practice on YouTube. I've been there too. So, give him a shot. You might like what you see. I'm already subscribed to him, and I will follow his career with great interest.
Going to be the savior currency of the people. It's going to give the people power because it's decentralized and unregulated. Good Lord, man. Good Lord. That's what fucking idiots like Jeranism will sell you. Crypto's your saving grace because it's so unregulated and decentralized. That, or self-serving, greedy, don't give a fuck about you people will position themselves at the top of movements that others think is freeing them from the system, from the mainstream, and then guide their little cult of personality sheep that bow to them.
Sheeple on the bingo card, if we have sheeple.
Tell them how great they are and thank them so much for opening their eyes to the flat earth so that they could turn around and guide them right back into the mainstream system with crypto. Do you need any more proof than it constantly being advertised in every mainstream source you can find? Because like those of us that actually care about people and are trying to free people and get them to critically think for themselves, not just be more sheep in their corral of cult of personality, sellout bullshit. Crypto was always designed to be manipulated, centralized, controlled. I mean, good Lord. Look, Rothschild. Give me control of a nation's money supply, and I care not who makes its laws. But you really think they're just gonna let this decentralized, freeing the people, power to the people, cryptocurrency run?
Discordant Volt says, I'm mad I fell behind the scam curve. He's not wrong, though. Like, some of the reasons are wrong, but it's funny that he's accidentally right that crypto is bullshit and not good.
Rampant. And not have planned all along to control it, to use it as the freedom currency mantra to get people sucked into it, and then impose the centralized, very centralized, corrupted, controlling version of it, and foist that upon the people. It's very simple to figure out. When do you think you will ever see flatearth.com advertised at any sporting event?
Well, now I'm curious. Oh! Does no one own flatearth.com? It's kind of surprising if it's not.
Oh, because flat earthers don't have enough money to advertise. Because flat earthers will never be allowed to raise enough money to pay for advertising. But flat earth cult of personality leaders, greedy dumb fucks that don't give a fuck about you, that love to bash on God, they'll sell you crypto all fucking day, every fucking day. Because you're such critical thinkers.
Thanks, Bracky.
But we forgive you. We forgive you. We know. We know. You're just a little behind the curve.
The documentary already made that joke. This is kind of funny. Professor Dave, who's like a science YouTuber, did a debate with a flat earther and basically just made fun of him the whole time. Let's watch some of it.
Without any further ado, let us bring in the guest for the Flat Earth debate. Here we go. Here's Flat Earth. Hey, David, how's it going?
Hey, what's going on? Thanks for having me. This
Thank
is
you for coming back.
Gonna be interesting for sure.
It's going to be very interesting, isn't it? And Professor Dave.
Howdy.
Thank you for coming on for the first time.
Thanks for having me.
Congratulations on your YouTube success, man. 2 million subs. That's phenomenal.
Thank you.
Yeah.
This is the first time I think a real flat earther, I'll call myself a real flat earther, has spoken direct with Professor Dave, as he normally does videos, that just go out and pretty much straw man us, whether you know it or not, or gaslight us, and then there's really no way to respond because...
No, so you've never seen my channel ever and have no idea what I do because I make academic tutorials.
I have, but your flat Earth stuff is is gaslighting.
Jufy Shara with the Snopes article. Thank you for the Snopes article about the Peter claim.
Is devastating and destroys flat Earth easily.
Absolutely. So
started big straw man. Oh, he says that they think the Earth is flat. What a straw man!
I'm with you. Listen, I don't mean to come off that way. Would it be okay to look for some common ground? Can I just ask a couple of quick questions, Dave? You good with that?
Whatever you want to do, man.
Yeah, I'm just for to see if we have any common ground. Do you believe we went to the moon?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you believe that governments are here, especially the American government, for the people's well-being?
It's a pretty complicated question.
Okay, you don't have to answer it. That's fine. That's good. Do you believe that there's censorship going on YouTube?
Yes.
Some stuff is deprioritized in the algorithm. I don't know if that qualifies as censorship.
And is the news here to inform or to fill us with propaganda?
The news is largely propaganda. None of that has anything to do with the shape of the Earth, so I don't know what the hell you're even talking about. Literally none of that has to do with the shape of the Earth. So you're really off to a bad start already.
Just looking for some common ground. That's all.
Well, so if we both don't like the government, therefore the Earth is flat.
So the common ground is then we're going to try and keep talking points to 3 minutes each, and responses to 2 or 3 minutes each, so we could get through this hour. And everyone could get an equal share of the time involved here.
I'm gonna move myself so I'm not over Dave.
On the list is...
I'll be up here.
What is
Woo! Too fast.
You want to go first, Dave, or you want me to go?
Oh, okay. This is how we're doing this? Okay, so according to general relativity, it's the curvature of space-time around massive objects. And so this is one of the easiest ways to know that the Earth is a sphere, because everything we see, everything including the Earth, right, very large, massive objects are crushed into a sphere. That's why stars, planets, moons, everything pretty much is spheres. So you can now go ahead and do your electric gravity bullshit, and then I'll explain to you why it's stupid.
Well, the question is, does anybody any scientists or anybody that's ever proven that any of the luminaries we see in the sky are even physical, let alone spheres?
Yeah, we can see them in telescopes.
You can see them, so you believe that if you see something, that'll tell you its shape. So when I look at this,
yes, this can appears to be a cylinder, more or less. Yeah.
Are these spheres? Are these spheres? Dave, are these spheres?
Yeah, no, I've seen this little trick, and I know the third one from the left is flat.
It's showing you.
Here's the
third
problem.
one from the left is flat. Dave, let me give me a second, then you can go.
No, because I've seen you do this, because I watched 2 of your videos, and you say the same crap in every single one.
Right.
I know what these are.
But with telescopes, we can witness parallax effect as we and the other planets move relative to one another. We're not looking at it straight on constantly.
Shapes these are.
So how do you know what shape the moon is? How do you know
so
that the moon is even a physical object? During a new moon, no one sees the moon in the sky.
I know your talking points. So the reason, this works because that's not moving. The things in the sky move. So if you take the third one from the left, which I know is flat, and you move it around, it's going to start to change shape, right? If the moon was a flat disk, I don't even know if that's one of your talking points or not, as it passed over you, it would change shape. It would
I don't think the
distort.
moon is a flat disk at all.
Okay, so it doesn't matter though. That's why what you're saying is stupid, because these objects do not move. Now, the other problem is it's not just about shape, it's about other things like composition. Do you know what spectroscopy is?
Yeah, spectroscopy is you can measure gases, but it has to be in a container. Where's the container?
No.
What?
Stop.
Spectroscopy is using light, like, information to determine the composition of a specific material.
Stop. We are looking at light. We're looking at light, and we are understanding about the materials, right? We're understanding the composition of things based on light. So when you start talking about gases, you show me immediately that you don't even know what spectroscopy is. So you do not know the ways in which we figure out things about celestial objects. You literally don't even know the definitions of the words that represent the techniques that we use. So why are you even talking about it?
So my question is, spectroscopy needs to be in a container. Otherwise, you don't know what you're
Spectroscopy needs to be in a container. The study of how light interacts with matter needs to be in a container. What does that mean?
I think what he's thinking of is a spectrometer, because there are like lab spectrometers. I've used one before that are in labs, and there are like spectroscopy machines that are used for testing specific materials. But that's that specific machine made for specific purposes. That's not all spectroscopy. That's a spectroscopy machine. Like, it's a whatever the fuck it's called. I just said it. I think he's confusing the machine with the field. With like, the study with the object.
Otherwise, when you're looking at the moon, you don't know what gases you're seeing in between us and the moon.
Gases? The moon is solid. The moon
Spectrophotometer, thank you.
is a solid object.
How do you know that the moon is solid? How come you can't see it during a new moon?
How do you what? The guy in the top left looks just flabbergasted.
Why can't you see it during a new moon?
Yeah.
Because, do you understand how vision works? Well, right? In a new moon, what's happening in a new moon? The light from the sun, the sun is illuminating the side away from us.
So,
right? Light illuminates the things that it hits. So a new moon is when the side that the sun is illuminating is the other side away from us. What do you want it to do? The light to go around the moon and come back and hit the other side like magic?
Yeah. Without interrupting, let me just answer. When we have when it's nighttime, you're away from all lights and there's a full moon, I can read by that moonlight. That moonlight casts a shadow on the ground. Don't interrupt. That casts a shadow on the ground. So that moonlight, which is reflected sunlight off a dusty, dirty, rocky, rock ball in your world, is bright enough to travel 238,000 miles to cast a shadow on the ground and to light up my book so I can read. During a total solar eclipse in your world, the Earth is a full Earth from the moon's point of view. It's bigger and shinier, and it should light up the moon, but it doesn't, and no telescope, from any position with infrared or anything has ever seen the moon.
Can you think of why? Can you think of why? Can you think of a much, much brighter object that is right there where the moon is?
Well, during
the corona of the sun, which is thousands of times brighter. What you're doing right now is you're basically saying, I'm going to shine a spotlight directly into your eyes, and then you tell me if you can see a firefly 2 centimeters to the right. Like, what are you talking about? Do you seriously not understand this stuff? A child can understand this stuff.
So when you throwing...
Normally I wouldn't like this style of, like, discussion, but it's a flat earther. So David just spends the whole hour telling him he's an idiot and condescendingly explaining basic science to him. It's kind of awesome. First name bunch of numbers says I'm living for Dave's condescension right now.
Bring out words like spectroscopy. What's the difference between spectroscopy and astrospectroscopy?
What do you mean astro? So astro is a prefix that means stars. So if that's even a word, it's spectroscopy pertaining to stars. What are you, like, Googling stuff furiously over there?
I'm just asking you, I've taken a few notes. I figured out, I watched a few of your videos. I know the straw manning that you're going to try to do and the things that you're going to try to claim. And in reality, an infrared camera, a regular camera from the space station, they should be able to see the sun, the moon, either approach the sun, eclipse the sun completely, or exit the sun, and nobody has ever seen it. So again, why are we looking up in the sky? When
Yeah,
we're
I just
talking about the
explained.
shape
I
of the
just
Earth?
answered your question. And you just answered it again. You asked a question that I just answered.
Which is
The
that?
sun is very bright, right? Way, way, way brighter than Earthshine. Do you understand that if something very bright, you're looking at something very bright, you can't see something way less bright right
Dave,
next to
when
it?
there's a
What are you not
total-
getting about that?
When there's a total eclipse of the sun, and you have the the little ring around there, you can block that out so it doesn't blind you, and you still can't see it. You know what?
It
Why
doesn't block it out. The
lights in the
corona.
sky?
Have
Why
you
are we
never
talking about the
seen an
lights in-
eclipse?
Why are we talking? You can make a fake eclipse, right, by putting a disc in front of the sun and then looking at the corona, and you can do the same thing with the corona. You can block it. Why
and
are
it's
we looking
really
up at
bright.
the lights in the ceiling that determine the shape of the floor?
Because it works really well. It's the easiest way to figure out the shape of the Earth is by looking at the celestial objects in the sky and record.
This guy is just like running through all his flat Earth talking points without even considering how they're being debunked. It's super weird.
Recording their motion. It's
second.
very, very easy.
1 second. Ash has said we've got to move on to the next talking point, which is space is not as depicted, displayed in media, movies, etc. Flat Earth, Dave, do you want to start with that one?
Ask the question again, please.
Space is not as depicted, displayed in media, movies.
Yeah, I mean, space is, they're just, giving us images of insanity in space. Like when they show us, nebulas, right? They show us this, and they tell us this is where stars are born. This is where there's gas and dust, so much of it that it's creating stars and spitting them out like ping pong balls, where they go run away and they park themselves in the rest of the galaxy. This gas and dust in space, in a vacuum, in zero pressure, how does that work? How come this doesn't collapse in on itself? This is just...
The objects will slowly coalesce into other, objects. That's what happens. It just takes a long period of time. Half of his argument there was reductio ad absurdum. It was just let me word a scientific thing in the dumbest, most simplified way possible to the point that it makes no sense.
It does. That's how stars are born.
Yeah,
they do collapse. It's how stars form.
Dave, in your world, this is gases are collapsing upon themselves and then igniting themselves in a vacuum, in a vacuum, and then they
This
burn
is
for
no.
billions and
Stop.
trillions of years.
Look. I know that you want to just spew your script without anybody challenging, but you say so many stupid things,
script, David.
and I'm here to tell you why everything you're saying is stupid. So when you say stars igniting in a vacuum, the reason that's confusing for you is that you think stars.
He thinks it's combustion as opposed to nuclear energy.
Stars are little bonfires.
No,
Because you're a moron. Because
No,
you don't understand nuclear fusion.
you think
Nuclear
that
fusion is the process by which stars glow. They're not little fireballs. And
So
you
Dave-
can learn that by Googling something for 5 seconds, but you don't do it.
So Dave, you believe that all the rocky bits turn into perfect balls, and then all of the gases somehow start getting gravity, and they start pulling it together.
Somehow start getting gravity.
They
Start
get so
getting
big-
gravity? What do you
Well,
mean, start getting gravity?
How do they?
I'm saying some of the stuff before he says it, so that's good. I actually haven't watched this, so, feeling alright about myself. I need to talk to more flat earthers. It'd be a fun time.
grow into stars? How come the dust is accumulating? What's bringing it together? Is somebody
Gravity.
pushing it up like a snowball? So
Gravity.
So
Yeah.
they get something, and it's a tiny bit of gravity pulls in some more dust. It pulls in not dust, it pulls in gases, and somehow it's pulling all of these gases together and turning into a nuclear furnace that burns for billions of years. I'm sorry, that doesn't make any sense. And if you
Okay,
want to believe that, that's the world.
so centuries of
Someone isn't a fan of the They Might Be Giants.
brilliant astronomers versus nuh-uh. Is that really all you have? Is the entire field of astronomy and you going, I don't like it. That's dumb. I'm dumb and I don't get it. So astronomy is wrong.
Dave,
That's literally your argument against astronomy right now.
You never met these men. You don't know anything about these men other than the stories that the controllers of this world tell you.
You know they wrote
Aristophanes-
books, right?
Well,
You know
so
they
Arist-
wrote books that
so-
we can read, and then
so-
we base astronomy on that and do astronomy every day, right?
Dave, try not to interrupt. Aristophanes figured out the shadow. Eratosthenes figured out the diameter, the circumference of the Earth
Citosaurus says, I got that reference.
with his sticks and shadows. But nobody in that area that came out of that other mathematicians never wrote any books about him. They ignored him. They just never mentioned it, and then all of a sudden it shows up in the 1900s.
Teeth Goblin says, I don't understand it, therefore it doesn't make sense. I'm very smart.
Okay, well, that's not true. I mean, if you're just gonna lie, then we can just play the lie game.
And Dave, what about the fact that that proves nothing? It works perfectly on a flat Earth. Sticks and shadows prove the Earth is flat, and it proves it's a globe. But you'd have to assume parallel rays. Listen to this. Aristophanes believed that parallel rays are coming into Earth, right? And no one has ever seen parallel rays coming into Earth, right? When we look, we always see them curved. We always see them crepuscular. But he also believed that the Earth was geocentric and we had an infinitely far sun. And so that sun is orbiting around a minuscule...
Far?
Well, infinitely far. Infinitely far means so far away that the rays come in parallel. And that's a whole nother problem. But how is a distant sun orbiting around a speck Earth in the middle of space? That doesn't make sense, and they didn't think about that.
What doesn't make sense? What doesn't make sense about an Earth orbiting a sun? What
No.
that doesn't make sense?
Dave,
Isn't an argument.
Dave, stop being a dick. Listen.
Citosaurus says the sun is a massive incandescent gas, a gigantic nuclear furnace. Off-key singing. You don't have to sing it though. I did. Too late.
What I said.
You stop being a dick.
Eratosthenes believed that the Earth was geocentric, that the sun orbited us.
Okay, he was wrong about that one.
But the sun...
People can be right about one thing and wrong about a different thing. I don't know if you know that.
...was a distant sun. How does a distant, gigantic sun orbit a minuscule speck Earth? Okay? Yeah, you have no answer for that.
They don't know. Yeah. It's the ancient Greeks. They didn't know. Now we know, right? We figured out heliocentrism in like the 16th century. So it was like 500 years ago. It's a pretty long time.
His story makes no sense. And the other question is, you believe that the sun rays that come in are parallel, right?
No, there are rays that are parallel, and then you can point a ray from the edge, one edge of the sun, and the other edge. Look, light is going in all directions, right? The sun is expelling.
It's like they think the sun is a disk that's shooting just like a flashlight, like a beam of light. It's a sphere, so it's shooting out light. Jamie the Bunny says this sun is a miasma of incandescent plasma. The sun's not simply made out of gas. No.
Light, they're spherical waves of light, photons in every direction, right? So you can identify parallel rays, and then you can identify one from this edge. And if you want to talk about individual photons, you can draw paths from the edge of the sun going in one direction, the edge of the sun going in the other direction. You're trying to oversimplify things. You're trying to go, oh, it's crepuscular, it's all parallel, and so then this time it works for my talking point, and then another time it doesn't work for my talking point.
My point is Aristophanes' story doesn't make any sense with a distant sun orbiting a geocentric Earth.
Yeah, if you just say it doesn't make sense and stop talking, I guess.
How does a distant sun orbit a geocentric Earth when the Earth is tiny and the sun is gigantic?
Well, it doesn't.
In your
Long
model.
story short, it doesn't. Yeah. But so he was an ancient Greek, and he didn't know heliocentrism. They didn't know when Newton developed Newton's law of universal gravitation. He didn't know why massive objects attract one another, right? He just said, "This is what happens," and I have this equation, and we use Newton's equations to do all these incredible calculations that predict the motion of objects on Earth and in space. He didn't know what gravity was. Einstein gave a better explanation. The curvature of space-time are warped around massive objects. We're probably going to get a better model later. Just that we don't know why things happen doesn't mean we can't do science at predictive power. So as it turns out, Eratosthenes and Ptolemy, the Ptolemaic model, was wrong. Heliocentric model.
Okay. I'm done with that, as fun as it is watching Dave tear into that guy.
Good morning. We're back with...
Here's a link to this, by the way, if you want to watch the rest of it, because we're going to be done soonish, so there's a link.
Artemis, you'd have to put up with me being a bit throaty. Just got over a bug. So we're back with this silly moon landing charade that's been pushed big time on our screens recently. Of course, the desperation now is off the charts, and all it's doing is actually helping people see through this silly charade. Shouldn't be difficult, but believe it or not, there's still some foolish enough that believe, and some even more foolishly defend this silliness. And I call it silliness because it is so silly and so obvious. Anyone who's foolish enough to believe it or defend it, I can't take seriously. No offense. You can live in your delusional fantasy world, by all means, but don't expect me to entertain your silliness. So bear with me. Of course, even before we look at this, we know it's fake because they present the Earth as a globe, which of course is scientifically impossible.
We know it's fake because this image shows the Earth is round. Perhaps your conclusions were wrong. Maybe you shouldn't start with your conclusion.
Still and verified by all. No amount of words is ever going to change the fact the globe is scientifically impossible.
It's not. It's very possible. It's the reality of the situation.
Any noise is just delusional unless it's got a demonstration. Again, why just ignore these people that say silly things but provide no scientific demonstrations? So like I say, we know that this is tosh before we've even begun. But then when we entertain it, and I'm going to let Matey Boy here do the talking, save my voice, again he's going to highlight some of the usual problems that have come from NASA historically. As they show you, it's nonsense. So take it away, mate. Link in the description to the original video here.
An image supposedly from NASA on Artemis going to the moon. And you can see that the direction of the sun and the shadows are a little bit off. They're not quite exactly where they should be compared to...
Alright, I think I'm done with conspiracies for the day. We've been going for 3 hours. And honestly, before we go, let's watch the Super Mario Brothers trailer. Because it just came out. And then we'll call it a night. Hoo boy! I'm going to cut this out for YouTube. This is going to be... This is the worst part, because I think the actual, like, design of the characters and stuff looks great. The animation looks appealing. I just don't like Chris Pratt's voice. I know it's not a hot take, but it's genuinely how I feel. I don't like it. Hold on, let me turn Boxy off. Boxy is officially turned off. God, no! Oh boy. Really, 99, like, if I would just think, like, if the voice just sounded more like Mario, it doesn't even need to sound exactly. I get it. If you had the exact voice of Mario, it would probably get annoying after 2 hours, you know? He's the guy that sounded like this, and it would be a little too much, you know? Like, it'd be a bit much. But at least do someone who can do it and tone it down. Like, come on. Otherwise, I think I would have been fine for what it is. Another franchise, fucking whatever film. Yeah, Jack's been going for 3 hours. Might be done soon. Alright, have a good night, everyone. Tomorrow, like I said, is Baja's birthday. So I don't know if I will see you. I know she has to work, but she's working from home. So depending on how that is going, you might not see me tomorrow. Either way, thanks everyone for hanging out for another Tinfoil Tuesday. Next time I see you, we'll do something else fun. I just don't like Chris Pratt. Alright, have a good night, everyone. Bye.